I'm glad we got our coverage of YouTuber drama so that we can get a clip with Mr. Beast's face on it, So those do well.
Mr. Beast, innocent or guilty?
There you go.
Then just me.
You're giving me all my content, nice and easy, served on a platter. Oh, I love you, Josh.
You need carbs!
May thy knife chip and shatter.
There is beauty in imperfections.
You're great. I am.
And if you feel it,
Are you watching closely?
I screenshotted or took a sample of Josh, the little icons that Riverside gives you that you can change your own temporary profile pic. Josh's looked like a flashbang because it looked like it flashbanged him and it was so funny.
I live.
He lives. He's in the car.
can we see him?
Totally just sounded like he closed the toilet.
We just got stuff from Olive Garden.
I'm gonna assume that it's recording video, but if not, I'll just Photoshop a picture of you in a car and then use that as your video.
I borderline think that would be so funny for the joke.
All right, well, we're here technically, even if Will's not here for a long time, but it's good to have everyone back.
Super quick question.
Yeah.
How's my audio? Because
Yours is great.
I hate to say it, but classic good headphones, they're toast.
No.
I have to have it in the right position to hear audio out of one side, let alone both.
Oh, I'm so sorry, man. You sound clear, but a little quiet, but I'll bump you up later.
Okay, sweet.
I'm just glad I get to hear your voice, Josh.
No, stop it. No, literally, my head's too big. It won't fit in these new headphones. They're really tight.
Yeah, so it's technically, I don't think we've done a roundtable episode since Josh and Will and I recorded the first episode and then just kept talking and I hit record. You remember that when we were talking video games late into the night?
I do remember that.
Good times.
Good times.
Good times.
It's just something that I've always wanted to do, and then, yeah, we haven't done it as much, so.
Yeah. And some of those topics ended up turning into full-fledged episodes, too. I remember video games did.
Video games specifically. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll birth some new ones. Zach, you had an idea. I don't want to be too structured, but you had an idea for top 5. Yeah. I was thinking something like, maybe this is still the beginning of the episode, but it is an episode. It's an official episode. So last week's episode, which is technically this week's episode as of recording, I started asking the question, what have you been watching as an opener, just to kind of get a feel. Josh, your answers are going to be fresher, and Will's too. But Zach and I recorded only 4 or 5 days ago. Yeah. So our stuff probably hasn't changed that much, but we had a lot of commentary on Daredevil episodes 1 through 3, and then tonight is episode 4, so we'd have no new commentary on that. Josh, what have you been watching?
Lately, I've been trying to initiate Michael into the realm of Invincible.
I figured that because they have the new season now, don't they?
Yeah, and I'm really trying to get her caught up so that I can watch the 3rd season.
Did you finish the season, Josh?
No, we're still on season 2. I haven't even started season 3. I'm dying.
I won't spoil it for you, but the last 2 episodes are very. I haven't really watched it seriously. I've more like seen clips that watched parts of episodes, but yeah, it gets intense.
I forgot that I was tasked by Deacon to watch an anime, and I don't think Invincible counts, but I really should.
No, that does not count as an anime.
No, it's the 2D style that's flat and all that, but I think I need to watch Attack on Titan or something, or Jujutsu Kaisen for the sake of talking about that one day soon. So, yeah, that's on my radar. Will, do you have anything interesting you've been watching?
Not particularly. Maybe some Reacher, like on Prime Video with my family. But
yeah, that's on my radar too. Just because of Alan Richardson, but also I know that people have been saying it's a good series, and there's actually been a lot of good TV, I feel, coming out. The people have been talking about Severance a lot. I want to get to that eventually. Daredevil's been, I would say, 7 or 8 out of 10, and then Andor is coming out right after Daredevil finishes. It's just going to be, and then Invincible. Like people have said good things about season 3. It feels like TV is in a good spot right now. And again, TV is weird because it's more of a format of streaming again, as opposed to like the television and antenna and how you used to watch TV. I still feel like TV shows are odd now because most of them are made specifically for a streaming service, I guess. So it's not the same as it used to be.
We're in an era now of more like limited series instead of like actual TV shows now too, which is interesting. So
Yeah.
because that's the weird thing. It's more that you have like instead of like a season of like 26 episodes that are like 20 minutes long, it's more one season of 8 episodes that are like 40 minutes long, which I'm not sure how I feel about all of that. I mean, I think you can. It's more of the format, but it seems to be that people kind of want to watch longer form episodes that are a bit more movie-ish in that sense. But
that's what's interesting about some of these shows is I saw the Severance finale was like, or most finales are an hour 15 to an hour 30. That's a short movie basically, and they're making at the very least 8, maybe 6 if it's really short. But thinking about, Ellie and I watched the Netflix Daredevil show. That's pretty cut and dry for what you want or what you would think of normally as like an old school TV show of like 21 episodes, an hour each, maybe a little longer if it's a special episode. And it's getting the episodes are getting longer and the number of episodes are getting smaller.
For TV show's sake, as a guy that's slowly starting to get busier and busier with college and other commitments, sometimes I really just want to watch one episode of something and leave it at like a solid, like even Invincible episodes being an hour long feel like it's forever. Like an hour is my limit for an episode. And I feel like if I wanted to watch a movie, I would rather this be a 9-part movie series than a TV show, because I can commit to a movie knowing it's a movie. But if I commit to an episode and I click that time button, I see I'm 45 minutes, meaning halfway. I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
I should have taken melatonin a little bit later in this episode.
Well, then, like Ellie and I often have maybe half hour or less to kill some time, and we throw on Parks and Rec for a good 25 to even shorter 22-minute episode. Like they're really quick, and I'm sure there's still shows that do that. It's probably more for comedy and specifically sitcoms for like set it up, pay it off, like just quick. I don't know. That's also that has its place as well.
I mean, that's the thing too about TV shows. It's just I'm not much of a TV show goer myself personally, just in general, because of that. Because it just when I watch something, I want to finish it. Like I just feel like I hate the feeling of like watching like the second season or the first season or whatever and not having done all of it. It's just maybe a perfectionist thing that kind of annoys me, which is why it's easier for movies when you're just there, watch it, you're done, over with.
Yeah, but people's attention spans are getting shorter and shorter. I don't remember where I read that. I didn't finish the article, but Bob Smiley joke. There we go. Not only can you talk about like social things of like scrolling on your phone, what the meme of like rewarding yourself after a long day of looking at a medium screen by watching a large screen while scrolling on your small screen. Like that's what we do now. And it's just things like attention spans are interesting to study. And that's why some people are like the Scorsese type movies are boring because they don't have the Marvel style of pacing to be attention grabbing, like a YouTube video basically. And that's also something to talk about. You guys can throw in your thoughts, but thinking about like the Mr. Beast or the Beast games, where he talks about how he started this season, like episode 1 and 2, as very YouTube style. And then as the season went on into the later episodes, it turned more into TV. So he had to grab them in like a long form. I don't know how many episodes that season was, but grab the people from his YouTube audience to watch the first episode or 2. And then the later episodes turned into actual TV. I don't know how to describe that.
Yeah. He'd technically be in reality TV kind of category.
Yeah.
A quality TV category, 1T.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a game show, but it's also a little bit of reality. I think Mr. Beast is an interesting case study because of the unconventional means. Again, it's comes out of the gates and never made a TV show before, and it is already the most expensive and broken how many other number of records. It's also interesting the style that Beast Games is, because I remember seeing that they start off with 1,000 players, which usually it's like in his videos it's 1 out of 100 will get the prize or something. But with 1,000, you can't really make an emotional connection to anyone. So like in the first 5-10 minutes, they drop 100 people or something like that, just because they need to dwindle the numbers. I don't think I'm getting that right. That doesn't sound right. The more I talk about 1,000 people. No, it is. It is. Mr. Beast Games follows 1,000 contestants. Yeah.
Because, well, I'm surprised they actually went through that because of the whole like Mr. Beast circumstances, which I never really followed. I just know that stuff went down that he was associated with, but maybe not directly associated with, but possibly directly. So I don't know. I was just like, oh, he's still around.
Yeah. So he was a part of drama. More Chris, who is a transgender teammate of his, and some minors, stuff like that, which was very serious. But Mr. Beast was allegedly a part of that. And the Dog Pack was releasing videos of exposing Mr. Beast. And it turned out that all of those were false. Mr. Beast was silent, not because he was guilty, but because he knew Beast Games was coming up, and if he said anything, it could jeopardize it. So his lawyer said, just don't say anything. And then eventually it was like shown that all of those allegations were false. So Mr. Beast himself may not be the best guy, but he's not a part of that drama that he initially was roped into, even though, yes, there were some people on his staff and friends who were a part of that, but that was all clear. And then they released Beast Games. And yeah, it's not like he's an all upstanding citizen, or not citizen. He's an upstanding citizen, but I don't know if it was Ninjas who brought up either in our episode or their own, where he's like, bro really watched Squid Game and said, I relate to the game master, not to the contestants who the protagonists of the show. The game masters are the antagonists. Like he's like, I really want to be that guy. It's so backwards. It's so funny.
I love that. I also heard, so as someone who's taking intro to business law classes right now, reading, like, being there while I'm studying cases of similar things where you basically just say, I'm trying to start this new venture, this new business idea. I just need to shut up because all of this is going to be used against me later. So I remember I watched just a small snippet of the trial, and Mr. Beast was just answering everything in the shortest possible way. And it was pretty smart. I don't actually remember like the end of the trial, or like I didn't pay attention to it. So I have no idea what my thoughts are on the actual like content of it, whether he was guilty or not. But
you're talking about the actual lawsuit about Beast Games?
Yeah.
There's a lawsuit with Beast Games?
Yeah.
September 16th, 2024, 5 anonymous contestants of the Beast Games filed a class action lawsuit against Jimmy Donaldson, alleging unsafe conditions, lack of medical care, inadequate food, unpaid wages, and sexual harassment on set. I thought this was relating to his drama with Chris Tyson and the stuff before Beast Games, but this is you're talking about a post Beast Games problem.
Post Beast Games problem and stuff like that. But also it kind of does tie into the drama previously, because he understood that he just has to be quiet. And then in these cases, he just has to be quiet because even if he felt like even if he was innocent, the more information he gives, the more that can be used against him. When in doubt, shut up.
True. I'm glad we got our coverage of YouTuber drama so that we can get a clip with Mr. Beast's face on it, so those do well.
Mr. Beast, innocent or guilty?
There you go.
Then just me.
You're giving me all my content, nice and easy, served on a platter. Oh, I love you, Josh.
Guys, I don't think I've ever actually watched a Mr. Beast video. Is that weird?
I never have.
Some of them are entertaining.
You're not missing out.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Classic ones. Like, I like the ones much older. Some of his new stuff, I don't watch it anymore because it does straight up feel like it's lost his personality.
Yeah. I watched the most recent one was the pyramid one, only because I wanted to research a little bit with ninjas, and that is a very interesting one. Simply because, like Andy brought up, that he's just kind of like, yeah, aliens did not build this, and it's like, you're very obviously saying that because I told you to say it. But what's an actually good Mr. Beast video? I know we're not talking about movies anymore, but we'll get back to it sometime.
It's Roundtable.
I actually like listening to podcasts that he's on, like Colin and Samir. They do YouTuber talk and how to grow and all that. And they had him on talking about Beast Games, talking about the lawsuit, and talking about how to grow as a YouTuber. I used to not like Mr. Beast, simply because I didn't like how his claim to fame was that he said he read a dictionary all the way through. It's not that creative. And people started watching him because they're like, oh, wow, he actually did it. But there's just a lot of drama around it. Like the YouTuber hide and seek. It was an entertaining video, but like Rosina Pacino or something like that said that there was a lot of editing to show that she wasn't, like, the final product is not what actually happened. And so there's some things like, this is actually very interesting concerning how I edit. So in that video, Mr. Beast rewrote history and what actually happened for the story, for something that would make better entertainment. And I actually did that with Josh one time. It was in, I believe, the Dark Knight Rises episode when you weren't wearing a shirt.
Yeah.
And I switched some of the words around, not because I wanted it to be better, but because it didn't make sense the way that it was recorded. And so actually putting them back to back or in a different order made a better opening to the episode. And I was like, this technically didn't happen, but I'm okay with it. So it's interesting seeing that from a creator standpoint.
And from a larger standpoint too.
Yeah.
On a bigger scale. I also, I don't know if you guys fall into this same problem, which I don't even know if it's a problem. It's more just me wanting to be unique and creative in my own special way. Anytime I start off watching someone, like whether it's Mr. Beast or even back when I watched Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, PewDiePie, like the classic, the big three.
Yeah.
Which I think that's what they were called, the big three at the time.
For sure.
Mr. Beast too. I remember watching them all way back when they were much smaller. Like I remember Mr. Beast would this many magnets curve a bullet for this. Wait, before he was making substantial amounts of money from sponsors and stuff like that, making millions and millions of dollars and putting all of that money back into a video. Like I watched him then, and now that he's big, it's like, well, I don't want to be a sheep.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Do you guys find yourself doing that?
Yeah, I don't know. I tend to be very loyal to the creators that I follow, but sometimes you got to reevaluate and be like, like, unfortunately, I kind of feel that way with Dude Perfect.
I was about to say the same thing.
That's such a big topic too. I'm this exact same way.
They don't do trick shots anymore. They do. I take that back. Their trick shot tournament was very entertaining. But again, you can see how their style and content has changed to the beastification of YouTube. And again, that's topical because we're talking about Mr. Beast. But just the fast-paced editing. There was one of the contestants. He wasn't exposing them because Dude Perfect's a Christian company and they're nice, but they still edit for entertainment. He said that there was one trick shot that either took a lot shorter than was shown or a lot longer than was shown, and it was just you gotta cut the video how you expect. And so he doesn't blame him for that or anything. It's just interesting to know that, to see what actually happened as he described it versus what the video showed. But also, like, I miss the good old days of just sport trick shot or Dizzy Sports Battle is my favorite. That or All Sports Golf Battle, things like that.
I like the All Sports Golf Battles.
I actually wanted to do All Sports Golf Battle with my friends at some point, but I think that's way too expensive.
Okay. I was debating, side note, on trying to do that for the bachelor party.
Oh.
I thought that would be so much fun, but I genuinely was just like, I have no idea how to pull this off.
Yeah.
I don't even know what golf course to do. I don't know what sports to do. I don't know sports. And I don't want us to just be sitting there constantly trying to get our ball out of the pond.
Yeah,
or at
that'd
least
be funny
me.
though.
Bro, even if you look at Dude Perfects, just see if you like scroll through just their thumbnails.
Yeah,
They're all very like Mr. Beast style now, I feel like.
yeah, and Jimmy has said that he didn't intend to change like the style of YouTube, but it just kind of happened that way because he got so popular, and that wasn't correlated to his thumbnails. It was just how people perceived it. And yeah, Ty's kind of become the face of Dude Perfect. He's always been the face of Dude Perfect.
Yeah,
but he's been no offense to the other ones, but like the most noteworthy and the most likable, or at least the most liked.
Yeah, and so it's odd. It's odd to see how they've changed, and mostly now it's overtime or stereotypes. Maybe some battles every once in a while, but they're also their production is really high, which is great. I actually applied to be a junior editor. They didn't accept me.
Oh, nice.
But they have
a
massive team.
Get Seth on board.
I don't know. It's interesting.
I do like their stuff still. Like, I don't want to speak down about what they're doing.
I'll watch every single episode.
Watch all of them.
And they're anytime they go on tour, they preach the gospel at the end, which is amazing.
Yeah, I love that. Great YouTube channel. I love them. But they've definitely changed.
The one episode or the one channel that I don't think has changed all that much, at least in values, is MKBHD. He is always Marquez Brownlee. You don't know Marquez Brownlee? Tech guy.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
He's probably the number one tech guy on YouTube. He's very honest, except for when he lies about speeding in a school zone. But even then, he fesses up and says he was wrong. But their production goes up, but doesn't change their style. Like they still have their shtick, their look. They have like they do Easter eggs or referential design elements. So like a simplest one would be if they're talking about an Apple phone, they're going to put an apple in the background. But sometimes it's as subtle as colors. They have a lot of color stuff. They have editing choices. They have a full-on like robot arm that they do cool shots with. They got a full team there. They're doing like four different things, 4 different channels. And it's just inspiring to see him because he was a kid making videos in his basement about just a phone that he had. And that turned into this whole studio with like 15 people who have the coolest machines, coolest ideas. And they keep making stuff that is top notch.
To compare him to someone else that I also think has gone from like he started off fairly small, had this vibe, but then he got really, really big and kept the same vibe, but the production and the quality of the videos and the questions that he asks just got bigger. Mark Rober, like he's been very consistent, I'd like to say.
Have you seen the most recent Mark Rober controversy as of like 2 days ago?
No, it's actually literally today I watched his Tesla video.
Okay. People are saying that he turned off the Tesla autopilot for the wall test or for the kid test. There's some deep sleuthing. He also obviously was he really shouldn't have done that thing at Disney. But
I do think that one was borderline illegal because I think that's literally taking the blueprints of something else, which blueprints are confidential. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but like are confidential, like documents, and he basically just stole them because he's really smart and an engineer. Engineer.
Yeah, I mean,
guys, I'm entirely out of the loop right now.
I'm sorry.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm sorry. Josh and I are just talking about our YouTube
nerds. Friends connect.
I will loop this back to movies in a second. Rober is one of those people that I will still let my kids watch, even if it's not questionable. It's not wrong it's not morally wrong to turn off the Tesla's autopilot just for an entertaining video. It might not be the thing you should base if you buy a Tesla or some other LiDAR type of auto driving technology, but it's still fun and entertaining. And And
plus his
even,
point was still made without it.
Yeah. The Dude Perfect guys now have the Dude Perfect app, which has multiple creators coming to it. They recognize that YouTube is not always a safe space for kids. And so they took their videos, they took How Ridiculous's videos. They do not necessarily trick shots, they just do crazy ridiculous. They're the guys who drop stuff from the tower and see how if it lands up trampoline or whatever. And then Mark Rober is also on the Dude Perfect app. Like that's something that is great to let kids have an option for, just to be able to.
They can be put on YouTube Kids.
No, YouTube Kids is not safe. That's a different rabbit hole.
I have no idea what's on YouTube Kids, so
it's the Elsa Gate stuff where Elsa and Spider-Man are doing things they shouldn't, but because it's Elsa and Spider-Man, then it's okay to be on YouTube Kids. It was a whole thing. Minecraft, what's it called? Monster School, I believe, also has the same problem. But the way I'm looping this back into movies is because we were talking about attention spans, so we got sidetracked with YouTubers. Josh and I could probably do a whole YouTuber episode.
Yeah, probably.
But do you guys remember Quibi?
Quibi?
Do you remember the news about that?
No.
I think it's Quibi.
What is Quibi?
Yeah. So the Quibi was this blend of TikTok and movies. It was supposed to be a vertical, short-form TV show platform, I guess. And it got shut down because it was never popular. I believe 6 months is what Google says. But I remember seeing ads for it, and it was promoted on the fact that they were like 5 or 10 minute episodes in vertical format so that you could kill time like that. And I think probably one reason that it died is because TikTok was on the rise in 2020 and people wanted even shorter content, I guess. But I would have been interested to see if they had, unlimited funding to continue producing things like that and seeing like what can you do with this new format. Like it was at the very least a new format to make movies and shows is to, we talk about, or I guess we don't talk about, Zach and I sometimes send each other IMAX stuff, but it's like, what can you fit in a frame? And something that Snyder did with the Justice League in his cut was he didn't necessarily cut the sides, but he said that he expanded upwards. It wasn't even IMAX. It was like 4:3, which is old school TV style. And he argued that a lot of, when you're making a movie about superheroes, their humans are tall, they're not wide. And so seeing a lot more vertical action of flying and, up and down is better for that stuff. And you could study that a little bit, but Quibi is so extreme that it's your phone size. It's literally just this size of what it's more or less a dialogue, and you can see how that style changes even with comedy stuff on Instagram is like, the people who just put on a towel on their head and they're two different people. Like it's lower quality, but you still can get the same point across. And that's probably why Quibi died, quite honestly. But it still fascinates me that I don't think it was a bad idea. I just think that TikTok started rising at the same rate and faster than Quibi did.
I also think it's interesting that in 2020, a time where people had the most amount of time to sit at home and watch an entire movie or TV shows, they wanted shorter content.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. I know during 2020, I was told to just go do more chores since I didn't go to school. I grew up in Dipstick Nowheresville, and there was more stuff to do because I had more time. You know what I never understood?
What?
More time, more things to do. Less time,
more things to
less
do.
things to do.
Oh, I was going to say.
Still more things to do.
The worst part about 2020 for me was the fact that I was doing I was doing schooling online. So I got a break a little bit, but I didn't even really get a break because of that.
I remember, this story time. During 2020, I think I was in sophomore, junior year of high school, so I was still in high school. And our school, William also went to the same one. Seth, you went to the same one. Sorry, Zach. But we
the outcast here.
Yeah, super, super small school. I'm kidding. I kid you not. Graduating class of 3. To everyone watching this that had like a graduating class of 500, that wasn't me. 500 was almost the population of our town. Wow. Not actually. It was 800. 1,800 if you include the federal prison that's there that has 1,000 people in it.
Josh, I'm going to flex on you. I had a graduating class of 8, and it was the highest class, or the most people in a graduating class.
My sister was in that graduating class. I know.
I know.
So jealous because it was just me, my best friend, and his girlfriend against the world. Third wheeling for my whole high school, basically. Not actually.
Yeah.
But it was so funny. We got packets of homework for the week, and they would be delivered to us by one of the teachers. Mm-hmm. And I remember I would still just go to school because my math teacher was next door, and I would go over there with that. Mrs. Dobson, help.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Zach and I were at college for COVID, so that was fun.
Did y'all get quarantined?
No. I think I was suspected of having COVID once, and my parents made me wear a mask around the home, and it was very frustrating because I would have rather just stayed in my room if that was my sentence.
Yeah.
Seth, what year did you graduate high school?
I graduated fall of 21.
High school?
High school. No, sorry. I graduated 2019.
Okay. Because I graduated 2020. So.
Okay. So you were a COVID graduate. Oh, yeah. Same as Ellie. So was Ellie.
Did you have a graduation ceremony?
We had like a drive-through.
Oh, you did the drive-through, yeah. Stillwater. Sorry, I shouldn't out her like that. Ellie's school had like a parade, I guess. But
that's a good idea.
Yeah, and probably for embarrassment, they didn't do the whole drive-through or whatever. But
squirt the diploma, gets handed the diploma through the window.
I don't care if we're getting distracted. Have you guys seen the Catholic baptisms of? Oh
yeah, it was
Josh
just
knows.
a squirt gun. Yeah.
This one. This is a perfect one. It's just a squirt gun.
The stance too is just.
This is really what we like.
That goes so hard right there, honestly. Dude, that needs to be an album cover.
We can get down the rabbit hole of immersion or sprinkling, but I don't think a water gun is technically underneath the umbrella of sprinkling for
weird
baptism.
COVID pictures. That's a whole Reddit.
I'm sure it is. Itself. COVID archive of crazy people.
That's fun.
Anyways, movies. Yeah. Actually, yeah.
Wait,
I'll bring it back around. I remember watching Tenet in the fall of 2020. I think that I saw it twice in theaters. I brought my haul, and that was the one. I saw Free Guy. I think Free Guy came out that fall too. But those were the two movies that I remember specifically as COVID.
Free Guy was July of 21.
Oh, really? Never mind then.
August of 21.
August of 21. That was a rough time for me. But maybe I just remember seeing it alone, and that's where the sadness came from.
So, have we done an official top 5 movies of all time? Because mine has changed for like the 20th time.
Is that what you wanted, Zach? You just said top 5. Was the only thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the idea I've pitched to you before, where we do top 5 movies, and then we also just ask each other top 5 questions.
Oh, so top 5 things.
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna rapid fire this.
I remember. There's a Distractable episode I think with Markiplier and his friends. That's like top 5 things of all time, and I don't exactly remember what the episode's about. But just having that episode of like top 5 things of all time is really funny to me. Of all time. It doesn't have to be a category. It's just of all time.
Number 1: fresh, warm, just dried sheets.
Sorry, I thought you were naming a movie for a second. Now I want to see that movie.
Not to distract ourselves again, but do you guys want to see a picture that I took on the day of my graduation?
Always.
Oh, I do.
Is it babyface Zach? Nice.
Wow. He's really showing off his cool factor there.
You got toilet paper?
That's like $20 right there. Dude could pay rent with that.
The meme that's like the stuff that's most expensive, toilet paper and eggs, we used to just throw at houses. Remember those days?
Yeah.
All right, top 5, Josh. All right. Do you is this your current top 5, or do you have to make an objective all-time list?
I had to redo it and this took me, guys, I kid you not, like 5 hours of just brainstorming, sitting there like, is that really in my top 5, or did I just watch it more recently and the hype from it is still there?
Yeah.
You know? Because I needed to make sure that it was objective, and it wasn't that I was the most excited about it because I just watched it. You know? So I sat there for 5 hours thinking so much.
So much.
So much. I have the greatest movies, greatest of all time. I'm going to list them right now, but before I tell you this is the greatest movie, it's American movies. All American. Anyways.
Just cut it off there.
Yeah.
All done.
Number 1, The Map of the Tiny Perfect Things. Number 2, Whiplash. Number 3, How to Train Your Dragon. Number 4, Tag. Number 5, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
What the heck is A Map of Tiny Perfect Things?
Isn't that a rom-com?
Kind of.
It's a time loop rom-com, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like Groundhog's Night. Now,
okay.
Before y'all get on about that one, I do have backstory for it.
Okay.
It's completely random. It's a super, super cute movie. If you watch it, you'll be like, oh, that's cute.
Did Michael make you watch it?
No,
that's what
I made her watch it, and that was our very, very first date ever officially as a couple. So what I did was I made a sign for her, and I brought her to this little fancy gazebo. I had my speaker set up there and the sign set up there, and we watched that movie. And I watched that movie for the first time with another guy that I went on a week date with.
Okay.
Long date. That also needs backstory. Hang on. It wasn't an actual date. I didn't have any plans for spring break, so this one of my good friends, his name is Timon, he invited me to stay at his place all week. So I hung out with him, met his family. We went on a walk for the beach for like a few minutes, as in like 2 hours. We chased dolphins, made a sandcastle together. I have an Instagram story post. Follow me on Instagram at Josh the 22nd. I deleted Instagram like a month ago, so.
Josh, you're not helping your case here.
That's what I was trying to say.
I'm dating someone. Her name is Michael.
And she's been on the podcast now, so.
We need to release the Josh Might Be Gay song.
Oh, he might be gay, or maybe just unique in every way.
I don't know if people caught that, but when I announced the recasting Daredevil song, I said that we have others in the pipeline, and Josh Might Be Gay is one of the songs, and I'm just so excited for people to experience that.
To experience. That's such a way to put it.
I feel like we have to at some point explain like the backstory behind all these songs and how.
Yeah. Well,
are you going to do that at some point?
Well, Josh, we've joked about you being gay simply because you've had more guys ask you out than girls, and that was before Michael. So
yeah,
she just added to the fun of making.
Well, I'm talking about just like the album cover.
Oh,
and everything.
Well, we haven't released that yet, so.
Okay. I think it's so funny in that photo. I didn't get the memo. It was serious.
Yeah,
I really didn't. So everyone's like. Then there's Josh. Hey guys, what are you doing?
If we do release it with that album cover, I might want to change it to our Thunderbolts type of picture, because Jake and Luke don't have anything to do with the podcast. That's my only reasoning. I'll cut this.
Well, Luke's been on the podcast.
True. We just did it because we had a funny picture for my wedding. So. Okay, Josh, explain more of your top 5.
Have you guys seen Whiplash?
I really want to. I haven't.
I have tangentially. I've watched a YouTuber react to it.
I've heard of it. I've seen like clips.
I do very much so recommend it, but only for those who are not affected by swearing, because it is very, very vulgar. But I don't remember any like crazy sex scenes. If there were any,
I don't think so.
Just straight up. Yeah, I didn't watch it, so I just don't have. Okay, I watched the movie, but if there were sex scenes, I didn't watch those. I didn't watch the sex scenes.
Oh, I see.
That's my point.
I
usually
just
skip
I didn't
through
watch
all of them.
the movie that's on my top 5.
Yeah, no, I did watch it, but I've gotten really good at skipping sex scenes to the point where I forget that they're even there unless they're like pivotal to the movie.
Good man.
Like Top Gun Maverick, that sex scene, that's one of the best sex scenes of all time. That sounds
Hold up. Back this up. What? Your mom listens to this.
This is a Christian podcast.
And she knows that that's a good sex scene. You know why? Because it's not a sex scene. That's why it's good.
Did you listen to the romance episode? Ellie made a really good point there.
I didn't.
You did not. No, she said that if that's the standard for a good way to describe what they did, then that's pretty lame. And I think she is right in saying that. So,
wait, can you? I'll just watch the episode. I want more elaboration on
yeah,
that.
watch the episode. And the listeners should listen to the episode or watch.
Yeah, because I need context now, because now that's a really interesting topic.
You can have your own opinion. That's okay.
Yeah. I agree. For the most part. But Whiplash, really, really good. Very vulgar. It's the most action-packed movie without any action I have ever seen. There's a literal battle between two people, and it's beautiful the way that it's done. Like the final, like the climax battle is literally like a genuine battle.
But it's about drumming.
Exactly.
I know. I've seen these.
Oh, it's really, really well made. I watched it with Michael. This is going to be a trend for a lot of these. Now that I think about it. Actually, no, it's not a trend. But I watched it with her, and she's a film person. Mm-hmm. She also has a minor in film and has been like dissecting them for years, almost her entire life. Yeah. So like even she admiring it a lot and loving the shots and stuff, it was great. Mm-hmm. Then How to Train Your Dragon, that's doesn't have to be explained. That's just a great movie. Mm-hmm. Then 4, this one's interesting. Have you guys seen the movie Tag?
I know of it. I think I saw the ads when it was coming out.
I know of it only because of you, Josh.
It's a really wholesome movie. It's really, really wholesome. It's
about bros being bros and being.
It's
funny.
about bros being bros, and I love that.
Is there 4 of them?
Yeah.
5. We're so far apart that we could play tag. No, there's 5. We're so far apart that we could do that for real.
Yeah, I just love the idea. It's also really wholesome, and
it's got Jake Johnson in it.
Yeah. And then number 5 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Of course.
Anybody else got a top 5?
I wrote down some of my movies that I really like, and I have 8 of them. I'm working on taking them down a notch. Part of me wants to say Tenet to spite Zach, but I honestly, when I think of the other Nolan movies on here, I'll take that off. Gosh, some of them are so good. I'm gonna remove one of the kids movies. Kids movies.
What kids movie did you get rid of?
I'm getting rid of National Treasure. Out of like, it's my nostalgia pick, but it's not probably my top 5 when it comes to
objective. I like this movie.
Whereas the other kids movie was Puss in Boots 2. So
that's
just thinking about. I think Ellie watched it somehow, some way recently with someone, and we were just talking about death or the final fight, and it's just chills, literal chills.
I got chills so many times from the movie.
Absolute cinema.
I think I got to take away one Nolan movie because again, I'm kind of like you can't really have 2 of the same category. Prestige is really good, but I still like Interstellar over that. So, well, then I haven't ordered these. Frick. Actually, they're probably pretty close.
Once we're done with top 5, I've got a great question to bring more discussion.
Okay, I got my top 5.
Go for it.
Number 1, Interstellar. Number 2, Top Gun Maverick. Number 3, Endgame. Number 4, Puss in Boots 2. And number 5, Furious 7.
Hang on.
Fast and Furious 7th installment.
I was hitting true until you threw that curveball. What?
Have you seen it?
Touche. Judge not, lest ye be judged.
I still have to watch all those movies.
I do think that you need the story of everything else leading up to it, which it's hard to convince somebody to watch 7 movies to get that payoff. But with the 7th movie, it just hits so hard with the death of Paul Walker, knowing that. And I was thinking when Ellie and I were watching through them, I was like, should I tell her first or after? Because otherwise it's not going to make sense. how do you put yourself in that situation while also not making it obvious that it's a CG double with a lot of his shots. And he and I said Paul Walker passed away before this released, and so you'll see, in memoriam to, or in honor of Paul Walker. And I don't actually think the CG fails that much. If you're looking for it and you have a degree in animation, sure, you're going to see it, but I actually think it holds up for its time, as well as just the final moments of him getting to stay with his family. And yeah, the entire franchise took a dip after that because they didn't have any heart. They just became action movies. But that was the last one that had heart, and it brings a tear to your eye, and it's so good. And I freaking love those movies.
Seth, I was about to say I have to buy your collection so we can finally record
hey,
that episode.
you give me Spider-Man, I'll give you Fast and Furious.
Sure thing.
To explain the others, I mean, Interstellar, I had Interstellar music in my wedding. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Ellie and I.
That's also just a good movie.
It's a good movie. Yeah. It hits you in the feels. And Andy said that he can't watch it, but I think it when you can watch it again and again and still feel that emotion, it's a good movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Top Gun Maverick, I just think the sound design, I saw it in Dolby Atmos twice. Like, just the ripping of the jets across the sky, the action. Even, I don't care if it's not all real and some of it's VFX. Like, it's just a great movie that has manly themes of being able to let go and grow and teach younger generations and learn from yourself, learn from older generations and everything like that. Endgame sure is nostalgia, but I think it just is a great finale to a 10-year story, a 10-year TV show, more or less, a TV show of movies. Puss in Boots 2 is a great basic story, even if it's a little scary with death, the embodiment of death as the villain, but it has some great themes about life as well, and really just nailed the animation of it. And it's so good. So those are my top 5. We'll keep moving so we don't go too long here. We got a half hour left.
Zach, do you have a top 5?
I do. Number 1 is going to be Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Number 2.
I respect that.
Number 2 is kind of cheating because I'm going to say A Quiet Place Part 1 and 2. Both together. I can't rank one over the other.
Okay, honestly, because they're such short movies, you could smash them together and have just an extremely long movie. It'd be great.
I mean, it would still be only like 3 hours.
Yeah, I wish there have been way longer movies released than that.
Yeah. I mean, besides like the kids just randomly growing in size, would be, you could watch them back to back.
Yeah.
I mean, you literally all you would need is like a 6 months, 6 years later, however long it is.
No, it technically happens
it's
immediately
meant to
after
take
the
place,
first.
Yeah. But it was filmed like a year later, and like the boy like hit puberty, so he's way taller, and
he's still acting like he was when he was in the first one, and so it really makes a disconnect when he's like wailing and he's like 15. He's like, grow up, but it's not actually. He's still supposed to be a child. Anyways.
Well, anyway, my number 3 is going to be The Prestige. Love
Nice.
that movie so much.
Solid.
It's a good one.
Number 4 is going to be Avengers: Infinity War, and then
Over
number
Endgame.
5, yes, we've talked about this.
I think so.
I thought so.
You just think that Endgame is congested and too much. Infinity
I
War is
think
better payoff.
objectively, Infinity War is more well made storyline, character wise, acting wise, and everything wise. But the payoff in Endgame is better, and it's hard to judge a movie purely based off of the payoff.
I would say Endgame is a better finale than it is a movie.
I like that.
So
I like that.
It's just a massive third act.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. I still like Endgame more. Like, if I were to place it above one in front of them, I like Endgame more. But I totally understand why you would pick Infinity War.
5th?
The Truman Show.
Oh, nice. I like that.
I like that pick.
We should talk about that. I don't know if it's still on our list, but I believe we were going to talk about, or we did talk about how Free Guy is more or less the new Truman Show, one way or another.
That'd be a good one.
But I believe we still have it on the list. Oh yeah, it is. Zach claimed it. Another one that I saw that I really want to do is Good Will Hunting, because I brought that up in Discord recently.
I just watched it. It's great.
I'm going to give that one to Josh.
Thanks. Dibs.
It's so emotional and so good.
Will, do you have a top 5? But you're only allowed to pick car or racing movies because you're in a car.
Cars.
I mean, right now I'm
Cars
not
2,
moving, but
Cars 3.
and I've never cared for car racing movies, honestly. I'll throw some out there. I don't really know what order they be, and I don't really know if I have 5, but Lord of the Rings would definitely be up there.
Just all 3 of them?
I was thinking, yeah, pretty much.
Oh, that's cheating.
9-hour movie.
But like all of them, especially the last one. If I had to pick one, it'd be like the Return of the King. But Lord of the Rings, it would also be Avengers Endgame. It's the more I watch it, it's kind of like less of an impact because I just love it because of the finale feel and because I watched it with you guys and you know being able to witness like the 10 years culmination and all that. I'm not sure. I'm sure like as the years goes on, it's going to be less important to me because of that. I think the other good one I'd probably pick is Hacksaw Ridge.
Good. We just did
because that's like a heavy hitter. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And the thing for me with movies is movies that I consider great are ones that every time I go back to, I'm consistently wowed by it. It continues to impact me or affect me in some way. So that's kind of how I judge that. And so there's a lot of good films, like Puss in Boots, for example. That's a good film, but I don't think I'm going to have as much of an impact now, or it's not going to have as much of an impact on me now as when I first watched it, per se.
Yeah.
And it's also just because, like, in general, I'm not generally emotionally or whatever impacted by films in general as often. So what are some of the good ones? I think you guys have thrown out some ones that I would probably agree with as well. Prestige I do really enjoy. I think that's probably one of my favorite Nolan films, so I'd probably put that one up there. And I'm not really sure of any others at the moment I can think of. I can pretty consistently enjoy films, but
I think the reason the Prestige was on mine, but didn't make it, I believe, is ultimately because I think it's a great movie to enjoy with someone else who hasn't seen it. It really kind of loses the spark if you're just watching it on your own. It's still a good movie, and of course you know the twist. But the last time I watched it was with Ellie, who hadn't seen it, and I just think it was so much more fun knowing the secret. It's like, I know something you don't know, but that twist at the end is so twisty, and it's a lot more of a payoff when you get to to steal somebody else's reaction to it in that way.
I also think it's like what William said too. Like, it's important to know that it's not just because you most recently watched it, like objectively, what is your favorite? Not one that currently has the most amount of oomph because it came out recently or you have the most excitement about it, like you said for Puss in Boots.
Yeah.
But
because I pulled Twisters off my list for a second because I was like, compared to these, it doesn't really add up. I just remember liking it recently.
That's why mine came off of my list too. I have up to 25. Guys, it's really hard to get to 10.
Don't explain any of them. Just read all top 25, 1 to 25.
Okay.
Wow.
1 to 25, ready?
And then no questions.
Ready. I'm going to start with 1, so you guys know the top 5, but to 25. The Map with the Tiny Perfect Things, Whiplash, How to Train Your Dragon, Tag, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Ford vs. Ferrari, Interstellar, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, Up, Mrs. Doubtfire, Passion of the Christ, Batman the Dark Knight, The Godfather, How to Train Your Dragon 2, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Inception, The Count of Monte Cristo, Knives Out, The Pursuit of Happiness, Hacksaw Ridge, The Lego Movie, Good Will Hunting, A Knight's Tale, Onward, The Prestige.
I love it. It's amazing.
I love that Onward's on there.
Yeah. Passion of the Christ, I had to put it on there somewhere.
Yeah.
Every Christian does.
But it's below. What did you have? The Lego? No, it wasn't that low.
Mrs. Doubtfire, The Passion of the Christ. I remember putting those two, and I'm like, where do I put this?
Guys, I've still never seen Passion of the Christ. I gotta watch
Movie night.
Do you want to?
I don't think I'm a real Christian.
Oh no. It's a hard
Top
watch,
3
for sure.
steps to be saved. 1, accept Jesus into your heart. 2, get baptized. 3, watch The Passion of the Christ. You're not a Christian unless you do those 3.
Where does follow VeggieTales on Instagram fall on that list?
After watching Passion of the Christ.
Following VeggieTales on Instagram. Because I remember
Step 6.
I remember finding that funny moment from when we were talking about the Larry Boy movie that's supposed to come out in theaters.
Oh yeah, that's
and
right.
I think Josh was saying that it was he was like, I'm not following VeggieTales on Instagram. I must not be a Christian or something.
I'm less of a Christian. I only eat Chick-fil-A.
It still says that it's supposed to come out in 2026. So.
Oh, nice. Right.
Larry Boy Begins is the working title. That's funny.
All right, I've got a question for conversation purposes. We just went through top movies.
Question corner with Josh.
Question corner with Josh. Whatever the questions are hot on the mind. They're so good at it.
There's a Ninjas Are Butterflies reference for you.
Yeah. I don't want to turn into Ninjas Are Butterflies. Sorry for stealing your content.
Oh, yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine.
All right. So in all of your movie theater and movie watching experience, and every single time you watched a TV show or something, what moment in movie or TV show or whenever gave you the most goosebumps?
Can we take out Endgame and Infinity War, because I feel like that's all of our answers, and that's too easy of an answer.
I wouldn't put them in number 1 or 2 because I didn't get goosebumps. I got whoa. I'm talking about you're sitting there quiet and you got goosebumps. Because that could be like a scary moment or a happy moment or a Holy Spirit moment. Like I get goosebumps at the Passion of the Christ, but sorry, Lord, that isn't my number 1 goosebumps.
I see what you're saying.
I have an answer. Kung Fu Panda 2.
That's good.
Tell me this isn't the best answer. Yeah. When he flings the things back at them, I'm like,
yes.
Wait, this is peak cinema. What's happening? Jack Black just gave me goosebumps.
I was about to say that number 6 on my list is Kung Fu Panda 2.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So good.
Okay, I was just going to say that I always find it funny that people are very attractive. Not attractive.
That baffles me that people are attractive.
Sorry,
go ahead. I interrupted.
I mean, it's not that I think they're bad. I think it's just that like people are like, "Whoa, this is super great. It's foundational to my childhood." I remember watching them as a kid, and when they came out, I was just like, "Oh, this is cool." So I don't know. I wouldn't put that anywhere probably my top 5 or anything. They're nice. They're fun. Enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to me that people really, really like.
Have I ever told you guys about the video that completely changed my perspective on the Kung Fu Panda franchise?
No.
It's such a good video. Yeah, I'll just send it to you guys later.
I'll link it.
Okay.
If you want to reference it.
Anyway, it's just really I mean, before watching that video, I kind of just had the general thought that most people do for the Kung Fu Panda franchise. It's like, hey, it's just a goofy panda movie, but the video really shows like the real emotional layers of the franchise, and I was like, wow, what was I missing in those movies?
He's a panda. You're a panda.
So then I rewatched the whole trilogy and I was like, wow, those are actually super deep movies.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Is that your answer for Goosebumps?
My answer too?
Well, you're talking about Josh's answer, that's not your answer. Okay. What's your answer?
That was Josh's
for Josh's question.
But I don't know what my answer is.
Okay, I got one.
I still have to think.
I got one only because this is one of the movies that most wowed me. I don't want to say Twisters because it was a wow movie, but it wasn't a chills movie. Like, it was cool.
Yeah, goosebumps.
I think I got goosebumps when Godzilla blew up the city in Godzilla -1. Like, that sound design and visuals was so good. We watched it the night before my wedding at the house.
I got goosebumps then.
Yeah, it's just the build up, and then I love scenes that go dead silent, and it's just when he fires his atomic breath, and then just silence, and then the nuke goes off. That was chills moment for sure.
I really like that movie, or that moment. That kind of similar. Even though I didn't really like the movie, which y'all can hate me for this, it was just too heavy of a movie. The bomb scene in Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
That's a goosebumps scene.
Yeah.
That's not a wow. That's a scene.
Well, and yeah, that's more of what he meant for that scene to communicate was because he sees the bomb going off and you hear him voice over, and I become death, destroyer of worlds. And it's just more of a thematic moment than a wow moment. And that's kind of where I feel the movie fell flat, but I understand what he was trying to get across and the depth of this decision to make this bomb, I guess.
It's more of a let's stare into the well for 5 minutes and think about the meaning of life kind of moment.
Yeah.
Will, do you have an answer for most chills, biggest chills in a movie?
Wait, are we talking about most chills or the last time we felt chills? What is the question?
Strongest chills.
Oh, strongest
Ever?
goosebumps. Okay.
I'm assuming ever.
Yeah, ever, or just the best time you got goosebumps you can think of. I feel like there's not a mental ranking in my head that's like, this is the time I had the most amount of goosebumps. That's just not something I think about.
Well, we're waiting on Will and Zach, so
Is this movies or TV shows or just movies?
Anytime.
okay.
Okay.
Film
That
related.
probably helps. That probably helps.
Film related.
Okay, then I'll just go with actually what you're still thinking. And I don't really know if this would be the most ever, but this is one moment that has particularly stuck out to me. But it's like, I think if I went to rewatch this movie again, it wouldn't impact me as much. But Wonder Woman. So let me set this up. I know it's a little strange.
Okay.
There's the Wonder Woman movie, and there's the one scene near the end where she's facing Hades, and he's got the one evil German doctor nurse lady, you know, the one with the mask and the face that's all messed up or whatever. And he's monologuing, and he like throws her on the ground, and he says like, you know, he's basically giving his spiel how humanity doesn't deserve mercy or whatever because she's seen the horrors of World War One, and he like rips off like the mask, and then he's for the German lady, the one who's like developing the gas that's killed all the people that Diana just saved and all that stuff. And it's a very emotional scene. And he's like, you know, they don't deserve mercy or whatever. And she's like, it's not about mercy, it's about grace or something. She found paraphrase something like that. And that was like, and it hit me like it's almost like a spirit going, boom, that's us. That was like, and I was like on like the floor for like a solid like minute of this, just like thinking like, you know, that's what we deserve. Wow, like, we that is humanity, and yeah, there's a whole bunch of like emotions and feelings that are tied up to that specific moment, and it's very, I remember it very well. It's just, but again, it's just I didn't really get goosebumps, but I very much remember that. Like, it was like, whoa, it just hit me. I was like almost thrown to the floor type of feeling, and yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that existed.
I do really like that because I think there is a strong connection of when I get goosebumps versus when I feel the Holy Spirit like inside of me boil. Does that make sense? Like I'll get Holy Spirit goosebumps anytime I'm in worship or something like that. I don't know if you guys get the same thing where it's like, I feel the Lord's presence. It's glorious. And just your body gives you goosebumps, you know? I love it when I feel that in film because then it feels like there's some sort of genuine connection that the Lord is trying to teach me in this film. One that happened recently, which it would make sense because it's a Christian movie, was Redeeming Love, which I think we should do an episode on it because it's a crazy hard story because it's about the story of Hosea.
But modern. Cool.
Kind of modern.
Oh, it's Francine Rivers. I get it. It's Francine Rivers.
About a guy, just a farmer, marrying a prostitute. And there's a lot of moments about like grace and love in that. That's like, wow, I want to be able to love someone so generously like that to where it's literally breaking myself and I'm like hurting because I am forgiving them. And they're just actively fleeing. And then it gave me a really good moment of like, wow, the Lord loves me so much to where I can go out and in spoiler alert, this guy, he marries a prostitute and then the prostitute leaves and has relations with a lot of other men still because that's where she tends towards to. And I found myself in that moment thinking, wow, I am in a position where I am a prostitute, but not for actual sex. I'm a prostitute for having other idols. And I go to the Lord and I'm like, yeah, I'm married to you. Like, you're my only one. And then the next moment I have the ability to, or the next opportunity, I flee from the Lord and I go to this one, whatever it is. And then I come back to the Lord and he's like, it's okay. You're back.
Yeah. The Hosea story is really powerful. I remember reading that in our read through the Bible. It's very good.
Yeah. I read through Hosea too, but like I would highly recommend Redeeming Love. Be prepared. It's heavy and some parts are semi-graphic. You got to protect your eyes.
It's a Christian movie.
Like, it is a Christian movie, but it's a real movie too.
Yeah,
so
that's good. That's good though.
Be buckled up.
I like that.
So like I did find myself thinking, wow. And
all right, 10 minutes.
Zach, goosebumps.
10 minutes, and we need Zach.
Are we saying TV shows too?
Sure.
TV shows too.
TV shows. All right. Then in that case, it's a scene that I just talked about with Seth today. You know what I'm talking about, Seth?
I don't. No, just say it. I don't remember.
Well,
I will remember.
It is the final fight from Daredevil season 3.
Oh yes.
If I'm gonna say it, that scene will give you just so many chills once you get there. You've seen Daredevil, right, Josh?
Mm-mm.
Oh, Josh hasn't seen Daredevil. Josh, you gotta watch it. Josh and Will both.
I haven't either. So
How long are episodes?
Hour.
Each one's like 50.
50 to an hour.
Okay, that's doable.
Yeah.
That's
but they're full length episodes, or sorry, full length seasons, and so there's up to 20.
No, they're only 13 each.
Never mind, I lied.
Okay.
I don't know where I got that, but it's very good. Obviously, we just watched it in time for Born Again, but also you can't just go watch the final fight of the finale. You need the whole 3 seasons to build up to that. It's the end game of the show, and you can't. Yeah, so just throwing that out there. I think. It's amazing.
I just told Seth today that I've never seen a show culminate in one scene as well as that scene does.
Yeah,
it's just the emotional impact and everything, and just his Matt's monologue during that scene is just so impactful and will give you just like such the biggest goosebumps.
It's such a payoff scene for sure, and it's so interesting having seen it recently. And having Born Again coming out literally in 9 minutes, so we got to finish. But it's so good. It's literally cinema. I think that people have been saying how Matt Murdock and Charlie Cox are like Tony Stark and RDJ. It's just perfect casting. He gets the character, and the story that they've built over those 3 seasons just means so much, and it's so good.
Just another example of big goosebumps that happened fairly recently. I forgot the name of the movie.
Well, that doesn't make ever good content.
Guys. Oh, I'm just Googling it right now.
Very memorable movie, isn't it?
The name of the movie where this happened.
I have a question to ask in the last few minutes.
Sorry, before we let those two happen, ChatGPT is great at contextual questions. So if you're like, this thing that I kind of remember some context to, it's like, oh, it's probably this. Use ChatGPT as a search engine if you're at a loss. So Zach, go while Josh is looking.
What was the last movie that you cried at or almost cried at?
Imagine crying.
I'll be a man, redeeming love.
Got the closest to being emotional at.
I will say, I will say briefly that I think the closest I most recently came to was The Sound of Freedom.
Oh, good one.
Oh, Sound of Freedom.
Craven the Hunter. No.
We were laughing the whole time, Seth.
Yeah. Actually, I have it in the bag. The best Christmas pageant ever.
Really?
I know I said that weird, but it actually hit the heartstrings really well. I really liked it, and it just presented the final scene so well. And it is an okay movie, but I think the final scene did numbers on Soul.
Bluey.
I love it.
Just kidding. I didn't actually cry at Bluey, but it is really crazy wholesome. I have to say redeeming love. I just watched it over spring break.
Cool.
And it's really, really good.
Nice.
You know what I'm going to say?
No, I don't, so say it.
Seth, I want you to guess.
What you going to cry at? Venom the Last Dance.
No, it was not.
I was going to say that as a joke, too.
It was the Wild Robot.
Oh, that's right. You really felt feelings for that one.
That movie, like, emotionally wrecked me. I did not expect that to happen.
Yeah.
And
you put it off. You were like, I don't need to see it.
Yeah, I don't know why I put it off.
What's that?
What is it?
Yeah,
it's a movie made after a kid's book, and it's just got some great themes about parenting and never giving up and all that. So, anyways, that's a good answer. Josh, what was the movie that you needed to figure out?
Okay. The Finest Hours is the name of it. It is
Not final, finest.
Finest.
Is that like the World War II one, Finest Hours?
No, that's Final Hour. That's the one about what's his face? The
it's the
British
Chris Pine
skirmish.
one.
Yeah.
Yep, Chris Pine.
Final Hour is about World War II.
Yeah. The movie takes place in 1952. It's about a guy who's on a Coast Guard. He's about to get married. This girl's there. Long story short, he has to go and save this wrecked ship during this crazy storm in the middle of winter, it seems like. And it's like you gotta be able to grab something very firmly because it's very, very intense.
It sounds like
crazy.
That sounds like The Last Breath that Ellie and I just saw about a guy who got stuck at the bottom of the ocean for 40 minutes without oxygen. 30 minutes, but he had 10 minutes reserve. Is really good. Mm-hmm. Anyways, we need to stop. Like, I love that we can keep talking, and we should do more like this. But thank you guys for
boundaries.
All your we need to be done by 8. Let's do this again. Thank you for all you've contributed, even Will, while he's abroad. And do all the things I said in the previous episode. Until next week, know that you're loved. God bless.
Peace out, brethren. Get flashback.
Follow us on all that. Oh, Josh just flashed us.
Whoa!
Get flashed.
Whoa.